Hey, good afternoon and welcome to I'm going to introduce my show. Welcome to the Cruise Amigos live today. And Amigo John up there in Crookston, Minnesota just disappeared. I mean, like 15 seconds ago, we were sitting there chatting with Amigo Martin. That's Amigo Martin over there, by the way. He's over in Manchester, England. And we don't know what the hell happened to Amigo John. I mean, it's just like poof, he disappeared.
Something we said, Chillie.
There he comes.
Oh, there he comes. We get it.
There he comes. So we have Amigo John with us now. He's up there in Crookston, Minnesota. What the hell happened? You just disappeared.
He's winding us up now. You can tell.
Or is he frozen already?
No, I give up. Boot him out. Oh, jeez. Yeah, it couldn't happen at a worse time, could it?
He absolutely, I don't know if he can hear us or not. Oh, well. All right. So,
go out and come back.
let me ask a question. And I got several questions for you today, Amigo Martin. And I'm trying to understand the culture of you folks on that side of the pond.
Go on, go for it.
Okay. So today, Liverpool is playing soccer. We call it soccer. You guys call it football. Yeah. Against Manchester City.
Yeah.
Now, do you get all bent out of shape for football games like you do for rugby games?
I don't, but people do go mad for it. I don't. I mean, I never get football. It's, for me, football is kicking the ball around, and you can do it for 90 minutes, and you might get a goal or 2 goals in a game, whereas rugby, it could be try after try. It's 40-odd points, 50-odd points. It's a lot more excitement to it. But yeah, football is a big thing over here. And when Liverpool play Manchester United or Manchester City, it is big rivalry, shall we say. Same as if Liverpool play Everton, even though they're in the same city. They're the same as well.
John, I think you've got a big echo.
I am on my cell phone at the moment.
Okay, because I'm hearing you in my set too.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just on my cell phone here at the moment. Let's see if it switches. If it will switch to my computer is just crashing here every few minutes. So
you sound fine, but when I talk, I hear myself on a delay.
Okay, it sounds fine here on my system. How about you, Martin?
I'm getting as well.
Okay. What is our audience hearing?
We're echoing badly. I mean, you're echoing badly to both of us.
Okay. Let's see if I can fix that. I have echo cancellation on.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
No.
Nope.
Do I echo worse?
It's not you echoing.
It's when we talk.
Yeah, you sound fine.
You sound fine.
But when we
talk, let me walk over to the house and get on one of the other computers. I'll be with you in a couple minutes.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
That's live broadcasting. Anything can happen.
I want to know though, Chillie. How big is it?
Tom's with us, Emily's with us, Nikki's with us. Hi, y'all.
How big is his house if he's going over to the other side of the house? Is it the West Wing to go onto a different computer?
No, he's going over to a different building.
I think he must be listening to us. We better not say too much.
He's going. If I know the way I picture this, there's the house, and then there's the big it's like a big barn. It's on a farm. I mean, this is when I tease him about growing pot. I mean, this is a humongous farm up there in Minnesota. And I think he has an office, which is like kind of across the road in the barn.
Right.
And I think that's where something's amiss with the signal there in the house, and which he has the studio there, and he also has a studio over.
Yeah, I think people were saying as well that they could hear the echo. So yeah, we need him. We need him back somehow.
All right. So anyway, that answered my question about football and rugby. How did you become a rugby fanatic? Did you play?
I've liked rugby. Over here we have rugby union and rugby league. Two sports, pretty similar. Won't go into what it is, but basically one is you have rucks and contested scrums. The other one you don't. One's faster than the other. The one I love is rugby league. Great game. But I started literally watching it. Very late start in life. I played it. I played in the World Cup, which was for LGBT players. So it was in 2012. God, that makes me sound old. That was years ago, which is the biggest rugby World Cup after the main Rugby World Cup. That was in Union. Met a few guys from leagues, set up a rugby league club and played rugby league for a number of years. And now I miss it vastly that I want to go back and play what they call Masters, which we'll go into that another day because that's so complicated.
All right. Now, I know very little about rugby, but I picture it I know that the rules are a lot different, but I picture it as closer to our American football than anything we have over here.
Yeah, it is.
Is that correct?
The only thing is that where your ball goes forwards, ours goes backwards.
Okay.
So you have to throw it backwards rather than going forwards. You have to throw it backwards to move forward.
I got you. I've watched enough of it to understand that part of it. But so
a lot of Americans don't. When you say that the ball goes back, the ball goes backwards. Why? Yeah. You want the ball to go forward, don't you? Yeah, but you have to go forward with it. Some people don't understand it, but it is good.
Okay, so earlier this week, this is my other question. I'm sorry, John's not going to be here for this one actually, but you did your Sex on the Couch series or whatever you want to call it with our friend Shane from Virgin Voyages.
I did. Well, yeah, my Coming to Your Sofa series returned with a very big star this week and very exciting news. So, yeah, he came onto the sofa and we had a good old chat about Scarlet Lady, which we were on in August, which I think we did a little feature about. And but yeah, we've got the next ship, Valiant Lady, which is ready. She's ready, sat there in Italy on ready to go, believe it or not. But she won't start till March next year.
Yeah. Okay. So are you going to be, you're going to visit on Valiant Lady when she comes out?
Well, a lot of people doing these shows with the Cruise Amigos and my shows and things like that. A lot of people have said to me, you know, Martin, we'd love to come on a cruise with you. And I've been like, oh yeah, okay. And then we've decided for the very first sailing of Valiant Lady, we're doing a cruise with Martin, which is basically I'm going to take as many people as want to come on with me as my friends. It's not free; you do have to pay, like I've had to pay. But you'll get some extra benefits for traveling with me. And yeah, we're going to do the very first cruise with Martin. It's going to be a bit like cruising with Jane McDonald, but you know, it's going to be better. I'm not going to sing, so that's why it'll be better.
And we're going to try to sell out the whole damn boat.
We are.
That's awesome.
It is. You know, I mean, we haven't got the boat to ourselves before anybody. A lot of people think I've chartered the ship. You know, you have to have billions to charter a ship these days.
Well, sure.
But no, we just take as many people as we want. So if you guys can travel and can get across, and you know, by all means, come with us. Definitely. Yeah.
Are we to the point of having dates yet?
I don't think so. Still no dates yet.
Okay.
It's I've heard the 1st and the 27th bandied around, and somebody's thrown in the mix the 15th now. governments.
Well, I think that would just be awesome.
So yeah, so cruising with Martin instead of cruising with Jane.
Yeah, I can dig it. Now let's see if the troublesome one, that would be Amigo John. Are you back and alive and well now on the other side of the farm?
I'm in Studio B now. Yes.
Studio B. And noticed you talked, and I'm talking, and I don't have an echo.
No echo here either.
Amazing. I had to stop at the buffet and get some homemade banana bread, though. So
okay.
Oh.
Okay. So you're actually back in the house now.
I am. I'm in
as
what we call
opposed
the lounge. It's the building between my
had it
house
backwards
and the mobile home. Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I was just saying, John, how big is your farm and your house? I said it was like you were just nipping over to the West Wing to turn on another PC.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they're on all the time. But when you ask how big is the farm, do you mean the farmstead or do you mean the farm?
Well, both really. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, the farmstead is about 8 acres.
Wow.
And an acre is about 40% of a hectare. So
it's Sunday night. Don't be confusing me with hectares and acres.
Okay, well, I mean, you're in Britain. Don't you guys use hectares?
Yeah, I think we do something like that.
Of the farm, here we talk in acres, and to give you an idea, 640 acres make a square mile.
Wow.
And so then the square mile is divided into what we call quarters. And we now, with modern and big farming, we generally farm in quarters. A field is a quarter of a section because the equipment is so big. When I was a kid, we farmed in like 40 acres. So 40 acres would be a fourth of a quarter. Mm-hmm. But now, then we went to 80s, and now they try and, well, as a matter of fact, where I live here, I own this half section. So it's 320 acres, not counting the farmstead. But they farm that as one field now.
Wow.
And this year it happened to be sugar beets. But so I personally own 480 acres. So it's this half of a section and then another quarter of a section about 8 miles north of here. But the family together, because it's pooled together now, because the uncles died. And so one of my cousin's sets of sons farm everything. And it's 6,600 acres. And
wow.
It's farmed in thirds. We rotate the crops because we can't plant sugar beets every year, or a little snake-like worm would develop to the point that it would just kill the beets every year. But they die out within a year and a half or so. They'll die out. So we plant sugar beets every third year. So it's sugar beets, soybeans, wheat, and then it repeats: sugar beets, soybeans, wheat. So a third of the land is, at any given year, we have 6,600 acres because we own 2,200 acres by contract of sugar beets in the cooperative sugar beet processing plants that the farmers own together. About 2,500 farmers together own 5 processing facilities as a cooperative.
Mm-hmm.
And so we happen to be in number 4, which is here in my hometown. And so because of that, and then so a sugar beet share, varies in price. When we first bought them, they were $300 a share. Now they're about $900 a share, but they have gone up as high as $1,500 a share.
Okay.
It varies and fluctuates. So, if you own 500 shares, then that's an asset for your farm too. So that's a big thing. So that consortium, in our situation, we own 2,200 shares of sugar beets and plant those. So it's a big operation. We own 9 semis, the big trucks with the big trailers on the back. And like in sugar beet harvest, which will start now on the 9th, and runs 2 to 3 weeks,
they have about 30 men that are out in the field, not any all at one time, but they'll run 24 hours a day to bring all of the sugar beets and put them in giant piles that go for a mile. And then that sugar beet, because it gets cold, they freeze out. And then that processing plant runs on, depending on how good the crop is, but it can run all the way to June before it processes all the beets for the year.
Now, when I go into my little local restaurant that has a nice salad bar, and I make a salad, and I get down toward the end of the thing, and they got a bowl of beets.
Yes.
And I put a couple slices of beets on my salad.
Yes.
Let's say. That's what you grow?
Yes and no. That's a red beet. We grow white beets. They're absolutely identical except for the red, not dye, but that beet puts a red color in its beet. We grow beets that are absolutely white, but they're literally identical as far as, I don't know the genus of it, but they're like one off,
What are they used for?
What? I'm sorry?
What are they used for?
To make sugar. Only to make sugar.
Oh, that's in a sugar processing industry.
Yeah, they have a lot higher sugar content than your red beet has, the red vegetable flavor.
Yeah.
And everything like that. But they're literally identical twins, other than that one gene that makes your vegetable beet taste like a beet. And they're smaller. They're generally, maybe about this big around. Our beets can get to be about this big around and about that long in the field. And so, yeah.
Huh. Now here, all this time, I've been thinking you've been growing them.
They're just like that. Matter of fact, every once in a while, maybe once in a field, it'll throw a red beet out there, and it's really fun to watch because they have a little bit of red in the leaf, so you might see it from the road, and we'll kind of watch that beet all year long, and it kind of becomes this what do you call a shrine, and watch that red beet grow all because it just genetically, just like we come up as different skin tones, it'll throw a red beet once in a while. So, yeah.
Wow.
A little bit about John there and his humongous farm.
Hey.
Where else, folks, can you learn this kind of stuff when you're sitting around on Sunday doing nothing but with the Cruise Amigos?
Hey, I'm telling you, if we can get Martin off of his butt and we can arrange it, we're trying to put a American sport fishing trip together. And as part of that, as we travel on a coach, you will get a complete exposure to this as part of your little trip.
Wow.
You'll find out about wheat and barley and soybeans and corn and sugar beets, and you will do some of the finest sport fishing in America. But you don't know how many hurdles you have to jump through just to come and fish.
Yeah.
It's amazing, but
Wow.
we're trying to make it happen.
One of the things that I did this week, I posted on my blog, was the stuff that Canadians, I tease a lot about my friends up north of the border, but the hoops that they have to go through to sail on a cruise ship from the U.S. now is unbelievable. The crap they got to go through to be able to get out of Canada into the U.S., then to the port, then on a ship, then coming off a ship and back on an airplane, and then get back to Canada and back to wherever they're from in Canada. And there's testing and quarantine and at every step of the way. It's awful. It's just awful.
And, ironically, except for maybe the occasional lady of the evening, and I don't even know if there's any Canadians of that ilk, but, Canadians generally, Americans generally who cruise are probably pretty good people,
Yeah.
We know how to stand in line. We know how to take directions. I've just not, all of these Karens that you see on those YouTube videos and stuff, in my experience, are not cruise kind of people.
Yeah.
No.
We'll even go down with the ship if we have to. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Well, Americans, I mean, you are great at queuing. I mean, look, if you go to Disney World, you're in a queue and you think, oh, I'm just going to get round the corner. And then suddenly it turns another way. And it's, oh, yeah, it's, oh, there we go, round there. And you think, no, still I've got to go further.
Yeah. All right.
So,
Now I have a contest to throw out here, folks.
Ooh,
and then
baby.
we'll get back to the subject.
there we go.
I am going to show both of you guys and everybody that's in the. I have not looked in the chat to see who's with us, so I know that we got some people in the chat to see if anybody can tell me what port this picture is from. It could be anywhere in the world, folks, but I would say that a lot of you have been there, so I will point out that as a caveat. And if you get it correct, if you guess correctly, we're going to give you something free, or we're going to give you a prize that Amigo John got on his first box of Cracker Jacks back in 1953. So tell me what cruise port that picture was taken from. Now, obviously, since I know Emily's with us, Emily, this was not taken last week.
I know it.
It is an older picture, and I will show it again later.
The giveaway is the open tower.
Well, that might be the giveaway.
Are we allowed to guess, or are we keeping people guessing?
Go ahead. Yes, you.
We should wait, though, Mark.
Anybody that guesses correctly, I'll tell you you're right.
We should wait till the other items come in, or the other guesses come in.
Yeah, okay, we'll wait and see.
Okay, so all right, we'll do that.
See how good our knowledge is.
I think I can match it with one of my pictures here.
See, Jack's with us. Jack actually, unfortunately, spent a day or two in the hospital this week. Glad to see you back, Jack.
Sorry, Jack.
Hope all is well.
But he started his message with vet, VET, and then whatever. I thought at first it was a veterinarian visit. He tricked me. I had to read it a couple of times to get the message, Jack.
Yeah. All right. So welcome to everybody that's over there in the chat room, and Katie, Emily, Jack, Nikki. Anyway, glad to have all you guys with us. Hot Air Tom, of course, is here. Good to see you there.
Nice to see everyone, isn't it? Everyone chatting away in there.
Yeah, that's okay. Katie says, Jack says Galveston. That's incorrect. Katie says New York City. That's incorrect. Tom Henry, Hot Air Tom says Norfolk. That's incorrect.
I think it's the front half of the alphabet.
Don't be giving clues away. There's a prize involved, John. There's a prize. You don't give clues away. There's a prize.
Yeah, it's one of your valuables I'm giving away.
Cracker Jack never goes bad.
All right, while we get some more guesses coming in, this is just a huge week for the cruise industry.
Yeah.
Especially in this country. The next weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, just those 3 days. Now, I'm not talking about during the week, but just Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in the U.S., we have 33 cruise ships sailing. And that's awesome. And then I checked with Martin this morning over on his side of the pond. They got about, of course, they've been doing this a lot longer than we have on the U.S. side. They got about 40 total sailing. So we're up to 73 cruise ships now in action. And I think that's fabulous. I think it's really important for the U.S. to have a good week.
Well, if you look back 6 months ago, we're only talking, June. There was just a few ships bobbing around and starting up and things. And now we're at that sort of capacity. And now, I mean, for the next 6 months, there's ships going to be coming back online, And then we've got new ships being built and being launched, haven't we? They're going to come online. It's fabulous. It's what we're here for, the Cruise Amigos, is to cruise and enjoy them.
I'm getting so excited. I'm getting excited not only about the week and some new ships coming on. Newport, of course, we've got another new port coming up in 2 weeks to Tampa. We're going to get open. Mm-hmm. San Diego opened this week. So, yeah, we're getting, it's so great to see positive things happening in the cruise industry now. Katie guessed Baltimore. That's incorrect. Nikki guessed Belfast. That's incorrect also. So I'm just watching what they're doing over there. So, all right, Amigo John. I asked Martin a couple questions here while you were out flowing around getting your banana bread or whatever excuse.
While you were saying, I hope he's not listening.
Yeah, that's correct. So bring us up to date on your upcoming trip.
At the moment, the plan is to fly out of here on Halloween because the loads are really light, and because we're trying to fly non-rev, and landing in Frankfurt on November the 1st, Monday. Few days around Frankfurt visiting former foreign exchange students. Then I think up through Cologne and over to Berlin to my shared flat over there, and spending a week or so there at least. And then with Henry, and now there's a chance that Henry's mom and a girlfriend of hers, they're both widows, will actually be coming on the cruise with us.
Wow.
And so then down to Rome for about 3 days. Then on the 20th, we get on the Epic, certainly my favorite ship. This will be number 7 on the Epic. And, the long 15-day haul back through a lot of stops, a couple in Spain, Malaga, Portugal, the Azores finally, and then a short, it's not the big long hop across the Atlantic when you're going from the Azores to New York. It's like 4 days of just direct sea travel, and you're in New York. And then where the port is in New York, it's a 5-minute cab ride over to the big train hall where we'll get on the train, and the next morning we're in Chicago, and the next morning 4:30 we're in Grand Forks.
So which station is that? Which big station is that then? Is that Penn Station or?
It's Penn Station, but they built a new Amtrak attachment on the side of Penn Station, so you don't even have to do the whole craziness of Penn Station anymore. It's got a beautiful first-class lounge, which we'll be in because we have our own room on the train. And as part of the room, you can actually have meals brought to you. It includes full dining. And there's a area where there's showers, and you can book a shower room and go take a nice hot relaxing shower, and the unlimited towels, and it's just a wonderful thing. I used to take that when I had a big client down in Madison, Wisconsin, which is almost to Chicago. I'd get on the train here late at night. I would wake up in Minneapolis. They would bring me a hot breakfast. Then later in the morning, I would take a nice, comfortable shower, get all refreshed, have dinner served in my cabin, walk off into a car that was sent. It was 30 miles over to Madison, Wisconsin, where the train stopped in Columbia. Walk off into a car. Somebody would pick me up. At 1 o'clock, I'm sitting down to a meeting. Never waited for an airplane. Never stood in line. Never got frisked. Never went through an X-ray machine. Nothing. And the price of that first-class cabin was no more expensive than me flying from Grand Forks into Minneapolis to Madison, Wisconsin.
Wow. Unbelievable. All right.
Rail travel. I've not done much. I'd like to do the Amtrak and things like that. I would also like to do Canada as well. The Via Rail and up on the Rocky Mountain here is big bucket list of mine. So that goes just 150 miles from me up in Winnipeg here. So you can come fly into America, come to us, and then we'll just cross the border here, and we're in Winnipeg. And because it's really boring from Winnipeg east, it's just nothing across Ontario. Ontario is one of the biggest provinces, and it's just nothing till you get to Toronto again, and then you get into the Maritimes, and then that's really fun again. Yeah. But like a third of Canada from here east is absolutely dead. Boring.
So we'll take care of that for you.
Cool.
All right. Jack says that Veterans Affairs, that's formerly the Veterans Administration. Nikki guessed Belfast. That's incorrect. Tom says Punta Delgado. That's incorrect.
It's not Phoenix either, by the way, you guys.
Nikki says
Phoenix.
Moynihan Train. Hail. So,
can we start guessing now? Can we start?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's the Azores. I think it's the Azores.
You're incorrect.
Poopy.
Not even go.
What do you think, Martin?
I'm going to go for the Bahamas.
And that's incorrect also.
Wow. No kidding.
Nobody has got it. Let me put this thing back up. Somebody take another good look at it, because there is a sizable hint. I gotta go switch over to
the Azores has one of those open
open bell tower thing. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, now you see that open bell tower thing that's down the middle of the street? If you come back just
the train cars,
between the train cars and the horse, that's actually the start of another, if that gives you any hint.
Well, you mean that a big black post there?
Across from it's hard to say what that is on the edge of the picture, but if you go from the horse and buggy you see there in the center, to the car, so it's right here on the left-hand side. If you go up to the top of the picture on the left-hand side, that's actually the start of another bell tower.
Oh, okay. I thought it was the guy there holding up the "Welcome to the Bahamas" sign.
No, it was not.
Well, let's go. Let's through. Well, you gave a hint, John. It's at the front of the alphabet. So where else?
I knew it was the
front of the alphabet. Yeah,
I knew. I
did not object to that. I didn't say a word about that. Of course, I didn't necessarily mean that it was an A front of the alphabet. I could have been a C, a D, or an E and still be at the front of the alphabet.
When we getting Cozumel.
Cozumel is incorrect. Ding, 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 ding. Hot air Tom says Bermuda. That is we call it now King's Wharf, Bermuda. Back a few years ago. So, hot air Tom is correct. So, finally got my question answered for the day.
Wow, absolutely amazing. That's just, if you look at that now. So, I am on juice. It's not wine. I got out. Not with my back. If you think of the ports, how small they were years ago, and they're just vast now, aren't they? And just growing.
The thing that's amazing is that the two watchtowers, I don't even know what they're called now, but I call them watchtowers that are in the Bermuda thing. Those are still standing today.
Mm-hmm.
They've been modernized some, and the building in between the two towers has obviously been modernized, but they're still standing. So, anyway, I thought that was interesting. I got several pictures that I'm going to be using this week on my show. So.
Well, Southampton's grown massively. I mean, that had one terminal. It's now got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 terminals. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 terminals now.
Yeah.
One's MSC NCL have put money into Southampton, so that'll be interesting to see what they're going to do over the next couple of years with cruises out the UK. I think there might be a lot more cruises out, which would be great. But they need Liverpool. I mean, I don't know if you've seen any videos on social media of sailing away from Liverpool. It's just phenomenal. You've got the 3 Graces there, the 3 buildings on the pier head. You know, obviously well connected to maritime because obviously White Star Line started there, which is now Cunard. We used to do the transatlantic runs, and it's just iconic to sail from there. And this year they've had a lot more sailings out of there, but they never used to because they had a lot of funding from the European community to build the terminal where Southampton didn't, and they used to fight between themselves, saying, "No, you can't do it," and things like that. Well, now's the time to let's get more people cruising in more places and more stops.
Do you ever think we'll see the day where what we consider European cruises will also be available in America?
Well, you mean sail from America over this way and then on to Europe?
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, you can sort of, well, not into Liverpool so much, but there's the occasional stop where they'll come in on the way across as a port of call. But yeah, I mean, because they do that. I mean, now they'll go into Liverpool, then down to Southampton, and then onwards, won't they? So what's the stop you're doing back to back?
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
and I'm also thinking about some of the lines that we just know very little about on this side, like TUI and P&O. And I mean, there's a number of hurdy-gurdy.
I can't. I mean, P&O predominantly is they do Mediterranean season, British Isles, Norwegian fjords through summer. And then in the winter season, it's traditionally Caribbean, and one of their ships will go off and do a world cruise. Same with Cunard, very similar, but obviously you got the ship, the Queen Mary, that generally does the transatlantic run. Yeah, it'd be nice to see them over there. I know they do call in like places like New York or San Francisco, LA, on the world cruise, but that's all they really do, which is a shame, but who knows what's going to happen in the future, because there's so many ships coming online, there's so many berths that they're going to need to sell. Yeah. There's only so many ports that can be used every day. There's going to come a point where we might run out of ports over this way in Europe and the UK.
Emily says, way to go, hot air. Tom, what does Tom win? Tom wins the prize from Amigo John's first box of Cracker Jacks from 1956. 53. Excuse me, I had the year wrong. That's what I gave away. Was one of.
I actually swallowed the 56 one.
Oh, okay. All right. Emily says Southampton is where the Prima will be taken off to sail to Iceland.
It is. That's right. So you never know. I might see you on there, Katie.
Prima is also Orlando, Canaveral to Mexico, 5 days in December. Oh, yeah, when it gets over here. Nice. Yeah, I knew it was coming this way. That's one of my notes that I've got that I'm checking. Yes, folks, I am starting to check on cruises now.
Good, Chillie. We need you out there.
A step. I have not gotten my extra battery. It's not come in yet. That's the only thing that's stopping me from actually being able to do something is to double my battery capacity.
I can't wait for the evening or the afternoon when we get Chillie live from. That's going to be an accomplishment. After
live from anywhere.
Yeah, live from anywhere. What you've gone through, Chillie, in the last 12 months or so, and before I knew you, it's phenomenal, and we need you back on cruises. Right. Your fans are dying to see you out there in Chillie's bar.
I'm dying to get back to, I'll tell you. And it's only been it's been the last couple of weeks that I really felt comfortable to start thinking about cruising again. I was a little leery of even thinking that way just up until recently. So now I got the spigot turned on. It's slow drip yet, but the spigot it's definitely flowing.
Hey, you guys, let me show you cruising in America. Oh, do I not have enough? What the heck? Where's my?
Here's a hell of a boat, I'll tell you.
Yeah. This is 92 up at Lake of the Woods, where we would be taking our guests. This is my dad and the Eagle Eye boat. My dad only had one good eye, so he was nicknamed Eagle Eye.
Nice.
This is a 23-foot crest liner, very popular. There's many of them here in the harbor. But this boat was known to find fish wherever it went. And that was his Ford Bronco up there that he drove all over in. Tiny little rig. Well, not tiny. I mean, compared to today's standards, it was a monster, but had a 454 Ford V8 engine in it. You just stood in the back and poured gas into the gas tank.
Wow.
Got about 10 miles to the gallon, but
yeah.
This was the harbor where we had our cabin.
My last Ford got 10 miles to the gallon too.
Oh, yeah. 10 was a good number.
Yeah.
Talking of small boats, what are your thoughts on these new yachts that are going around like Croatia? You know, that have got like 60, 100 guests on, 120 guests.
I would personally, I would love that because I don't need the entertainment factor that's on the big ships. But, you know, some people just need to have that constant input of shows and lounge acts, and they need that as part of their week's entertainment. So it's a different feed, you know. Yeah. And of course, the worst thing to do would be to put somebody on one of those ships that needed that stuff flowing at them, you know, because that would be a real bad experience for them.
It'd be bad in the introduction to cruising, definitely. You know, if you put somebody on one of them first who'd never cruised before, I think, you know, I mean, I've been looking at them and I'm thinking, I quite like the exclusivity of not having hundreds of thousands of people going into the smaller ports that you probably wouldn't get into, not having to tender in some of the others, and the fact that they stay in port till late at night or early in the morning. So you get to fully immerse in the culture of the town or the city you're in. So it's a bit like a river cruise, really, in that respect, I think, you know, because you get really immersed in that. But it's something I've been looking at, and I'm tempted next year to do one. It's on my horizon because we got a show from over your way. I don't know if you've heard of Below Decks.
Yeah.
Have you watched it? Oh, I love that program. Yeah. I think it's on to series 8 or 10 now, isn't it? And it's really got me into that sort of luxury yacht. I want to be treated a bit more like Mr. Owens. You know, we're here to look after you. And
my only question about them, and I under most normal circumstances, I would say, yeah, let's go, is the accessibility factor. Because I still, you know, I'm going to be stuck with having to be able to have some kind of mobility device, scooter, wheelchair, something, because I can't, you know, one of the things, and it probably is never going to get much better, you know, yes, I can walk, but about 30 yards and I'm done. So I have to keep that in mind, so that I always got to have some kind of a scooter or a power wheelchair or something at my fingers. And a lot of those ships aren't big enough. That's one of the problems I have with the river cruise. They can't put an elevator on them because they got to go under the bridges. Yeah. So they got to be a much lower profile. So there can't be an elevator so you can access multi-decks. So.
Yeah, I mean, the river cruise is a bit of a weird one because some of the ships do have the lifts, but it doesn't go all the way up to the top to the sun deck. And one of the problems with people who have accessibility issues is you have to go up a steep set of stairs to get up onto the sun deck. And you're probably talking 12 to 15 stairs. And, you know, there are handrails, but if you are in a wheelchair full time or you really can't walk that far, then you can't get on, because maritime law on the rivers is you have to be able to get up there to put your life jacket on in the case of an emergency. So it's awful. But, I mean, somebody out there should be able to design something, shouldn't they? An accessible river cruise ship. Should we club together, guys, and do one?
Well, you would think for all the people that are on the big cruise ships that need a little bit of assistance, you would think that it would pay to have one ship that had one floor that had an access off that could handle that.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you think that that would be a viable
I
build?
I bet if we could ever get one to try it, there would be a huge market for it.
Yeah.
You would think so.
It's like the other side, isn't it? It's solos. If you had a ship full of solo cabins, it'd be full all year. Doesn't matter where it was sailing.
Yeah.
You know, when it was solo pricing rather than what some of the companies do at certain times, is it's very expensive for solo travelers to go on cruises. You know, so it's which is a shame, but it's the way revenue works in companies. It has to work, but you know, there's a lot of solo people, a lot of people who need accessibility, have got disabilities, and need access to. You know, why can't they go on these things?
One of the things I'm really interested in for solo travel is to see what Royal Caribbean is going to do after next month. They, for the first time, and to my knowledge, ever, were offering some solo packages. And through October 31st or October 30th. Anyway, the end of October. To see what they do on pricing starting in November through the winter months, as far as, you know, are they going to give the solos a break like they did for the last 3 months or not? So,
well, we've seen some great prices over here. I mean, we had Celebrity Cruises. You know, okay, it was only going around the UK, but it was like £999, which is what, $1,400, something like that, for a solo, all inclusive, gratuities, Wi-Fi, drinks package, and they were in balconies as well. It was like phenomenal pricing. So, and some of the others, I mean, I've just done a Royal Caribbean. When is it going? I think it's going on the 9th of October. And that one I think it's this northern city. So I think it's Amsterdam and Rotterdam. And that was less than £500 as a solo. It was a virtual balcony, but still less than £500 for 5 nights is pretty good.
£100 a night. That's pretty sweet.
It's just like, wow. So I'll be interested to see what happens over the next couple of years with pricing. You know, there's a lot of talk over here done about over your way, but the pricing is just going to go one way, which is upwards, because, you know, not only the fact of the pandemic, but also fuel prices are rising and things like that. So those bargain deals we've all had and become used to may not exist anymore. But we've got a capacity issue at the moment where we've got cruises that are decks are sold out and cabin grades are sold out already for next year and so into 2023 already. And we're just about to launch 23, 24 with P&O cruises coming up in the next 4 to 6 weeks. We're in 21. We're selling 3 years ahead. It's unheard of, but you know, the demand's there.
The only way you're going to get a room is on the day that the full payment is due for a ship. On that day when they're going to drop the people that didn't finish making their full payment, that's going to be the only day you're going to be able to catch a room.
Yeah.
Because the people that, you know, decided not to go and let it fall, there'll be some openings on that ship that day that you might catch a room.
And they'll get snapped up like that.
Oh, they will. But I mean, you're going to just have to be there at the whatever time that they drop them, and just be on, you know, have your travel agent be there with their finger and try and catch something.
The other one that I found interesting this past 10 days, you know, Carnival came out with a cruise out of Baltimore going to Greenland, 14-day cruise from Baltimore.
One way?
No, it had 5 days at sea, 2 days on 2 different protocols in Greenland, 2 or 3 ports in Newfoundland, and Sydney and Nova Scotia, and then back to Baltimore. 14-day cruise.
Nice.
It's sold out in 2 hours and 15 minutes. So about a week later, Carnival put out another 14-day cruise out of Baltimore. That one lasted 11 hours and sold out.
Jeez.
Something tells me they need to start looking at more on these cruises to Greenland, that there's clearly a market for. I mean, that's scarfed up, you know, so quickly. Unbelievable.
You can only go to the Bahamas so many times as an American.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but, you know, it's totally boring to me.
We get
been there, done that, got the pitch for, you know, I can only get those pitches so many times.
We're the same over here from the UK. 14 days you can get down to possibly Rome, you know, sailing out the UK. The other way you can do the fjords, 14 days over to maybe Russia, St. Petersburg and back. But as you say, And there's only so many times you can do it. You know, I mean, if you want to go further, like down to the Greek Isles from the UK, you're looking at like 19, 20 night cruises. And not everybody's got that amount of time off work to do it, you know. So
Or money.
you get a bit stuck.
You
Or
also
money.
got to consider the financial factor too.
It's quite, yeah, it can be quite expensive, you know, because they use the smaller ships, which don't have as many cabins, not as many balconies. So the cost for the rooms is a lot higher, but they sell out. When our Canada and USA and Canada ones generally sells quite quick. They're round trips from Southampton, you know, we're there and back, and you've got generally in the fall they do it, so which is supposed to be beautiful. I've not done it yet, but that's the best time, September time, and they sell quite quick as well. But again, you're stuck. We need new places, don't we? We need new places to go. I think what you should be able to do is do one, get off, have a couple of days, and then go on further. You know, if you got the time, that is. When I win the lottery.
Hot Air Tom says, Martin, how about some pictures of the new Horizon terminal? Emily and I will be there on September 23rd of 2022.
I will get them some pictures of the New Horizon terminal, which are, I'm sure they're out around and about. It's only been open a few weeks as well. So, yeah. Tom, I'll get them for you and post them up.
Emily says, no offense to Mexico, but I'll never go back to any port in Mexico. Wow, I like Mexico. Hey, we went many years ago for a wedding party, and people got sick while being in Mexico, including myself. I bet they drank the water.
Me and Emily have the same feeling, but for different reasons.
Yeah.
We got shook down by the police.
Jeez.
So
now, see, I've been to Mexico
400 times, 400 at least.
No, not that many, but 20 times at least at one place or another. And I've never had a problem in Mexico.
I know everybody. So many. The gal that used to live down the road here from me was my bookkeeper for 13 years, and they just love it. They go all the time, and
yeah,
you know, it's okay.
Jeez. Yeah. Oh, so well, let me just. I was going to say something. I've gone totally mind blank.
You're not old enough to be doing that, Martin. That's for us older, our seniors.
It's because of the pain. It's the pain that he's experiencing.
It's not. I think I'm losing my marbles. People say I've never had them, but I mean, there's things when I'll sit there and go, "What was I doing then?"
And by the way, Jack says the beer is great, Modelo Negro, or Dos
Modelo Negro. Dos Equis Dark.
Dos Equis Dark.
Do you speak Spanish fluently, Chillie?
Huh?
Do you speak Spanish fluently?
Oh, yeah, real fluently.
Me too.
Hablo español pequeño.
You know, a few more than me. I know dos cerveza, por favor.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
Katie's with me. She loves Mexico. Jack says, Emily just used bottled water from the ship. That's generally when people get sick in Mexico, it's because of the water. Yeah, their water sucks. So you got to definitely stay with bottled water and ice cubes. You got to make sure you're getting your ice cubes at a respectable establishment.
Good place, yeah.
Yeah, it's a few places
Other
like
than
that.
that, stick with bottled beer and you're fine. So,
I even brush my teeth with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
What else have we got? Any more? Any more for any more? How do we talk?
Katie learned to make salsa in Mexico. It's nice.
Nice. Very nice.
Yes. Jack spent 2 weeks driving in Mexico. No problems until I returned to the States. Yeah. My sister, I lived in Mexico for 3 years. Matter of fact, my niece was actually born in the States, but grew up in Mexico, which is why they're bilingual.
Yeah. What an opportunity.
Yeah, it was good for the kids. They came to visit me in Acapulco once upon a time.
Wow.
That was in my early years of travel. I took a group from the University of Kentucky to Acapulco, and my sister and brother-in-law came to Acapulco to visit me.
I signed up for Spanish every year in high school or middle school and then high school, and they didn't get 13 students, so they didn't offer it. But, every year they offered French and Latin. And guess which language I sure could have used most of the years of my adult life?
Spanish.
Who was thinking anything back then?
Yeah.
It had been so advantageous for me to be able to speak even a modicum of Spanish. But no, Latin, that would have really helped me here at the farm.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Did anybody ever speak Latin?
Oh, well, Ronnie speaks fluent Latin. He in Germany, he took it for 4 years. And
Wow.
he can write it and he can speak it. And it's the foundational language, but here in middle Minnesota, it's not too advantageous. But it sure would have helped me all my years in California and here, even now. We have a large Hispanic population. It would have been a real advantage for me to be able to converse in Spanish.
My sister, of course, she's fluent. I speak a few words. I mean, I can go into a Mexican restaurant and I can greet and be greeted by the folks there, which will use Spanish around me. I can order in Spanish, and I can generally ask for most things you ask for in a restaurant in Spanish. But that's it. I can ask where the bathroom is. I know how to do that.
Baño.
Oh, baño. Yeah.
I can see Katie and Tom are having a bit of a discussion there about the Holiday Inn and the port in Southampton, about where they are and things. If they want to message me, I'll send them the details, but it literally is right next to the port. You can walk out the Holiday Inn, walk into the port, and, well, depending which terminal, if it's a city terminal, you'll be there within 4 minute walk. If it's going to be the Horizon, where they're going to be going from, you're probably looking at a 6-7 minute walk, as long as dock gate 10, I think it is, 8 is open. Dock gate
so
8.
how many Chilies is that then? We're going to mark everything in Chilies now. How far Chile can walk? Is that 2 Chilies or 3 Chilies or?
I'd probably say it'd be 4 Chilies to the Horizon.
4 Chilies. Okay. All right.
4 Chilies means I'd call an Uber or a cab.
The thing is, if you got the Uber, right, this would be the worst thing. The Uber would go out of the hotel, turn left again, go all the way round to get into the terminal, which is here.
Yeah,
it's unreal. If you get one of the rooms that are not a sea view room, no, they do call it a sea view because I had an argument. How can that be a sea view when it's the port? But anyway, you get the ones looking at the back. You go to bed and there's no ship there, and you wake up in the morning and there's a ship right in front of your window. It's great, absolutely brilliant. I love the Holiday Inn. One of my favourite hotels in Southampton. Although there are other hotels, and I can let you know, it's not far to get from the station either.
Well, I hate to say this, guys. We've managed to waste another hour on a Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening for Amigo Martin.
It is. I'm going to go and have my roast dinner, roast beef tonight.
I'm actually gonna go do an interview here in the next few minutes. I got an interview scheduled.
Excellent. Well, you're too, John.
YouTuber. I see Elizabeth just joined us from down in Mexico. I'm on your side, Elizabeth. I like Mexico. So Elizabeth, of course, lives in Cozumel. She said, sorry, I miss you guys.
Non-grata places.
By the way, Elizabeth, I used the picture of a Bermuda, did a little contest earlier in this show on someone guessing, and it took forever, but finally, after about, I don't know, half the show, Hot Air Tom did finally guess Bermuda, but it was after a numerous guesses that were wrong. So I just thought Elizabeth knows about that picture. So anyway, all right, guys, that's going to wrap us up for the week. So hope everybody has a terrific week. Martin, keep up the good work over there on the other side of the pond. Amigo John, hope you stay healthy, wealthy, and wise there up in Minnesota.
Well, 2 out of 3.
Hopefully your trip continues that you're going to be going here in just a couple weeks. So for now, guys, that's it from the Cruise Amigos. We'll see you next Sunday. Same time, same place. Later, y'all.